Bob and Lori Hollander here with another Relate 360 Q&A.
Bob and I started an initiative that we thought it would be really fun if people asked us relationship questions on our Facebook page and we could answer them live instead of just writing our answers.
Right, but of course this is not live, this is later.
That's
you're
true.
seeing it later than what we're doing, so, well, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
So ask the questions
All
and
right.
we shall answer them.
Yes.
Okay.
Our first question is from Caroline, and she asks, how are men able to move on so quickly after a relationship is over, and women can take months to do so? And Caroline, that's a great question, because that is a lot of times what does happen. And my feeling is that when men are in any kind of pain, they don't go into their pain, they want to withdraw from their pain. So they move away from it. They may distract themselves. They don't want to think about it. They want to go watch the football game. Or they may have some casual dates or jump into another relationship. It soothes the pain.
Well, so it's interesting because when you say they will move away from the pain, but the pain is there, and so they can move away geographically and even emotionally on a certain level, but on a deeper level, although they move away, they don't escape it. It's really down in their primal point of being, and it can build up, and at some point they have to face those kinds of things. Women just have a greater facility of facing it as it comes, and men there's a lag time, and they seem to move ahead. But I want you to know that women are important, and we are affected by them, although we might not seem so at any given moment.
Now, women, what do we do when we break up or when someone breaks up with us? We don't move away from our feelings. We move into our feelings. We really start to analyze and look at the relationship and study it and think about what did I do and all the things that I did wrong that caused this guy to leave. And, you know, that's why women move into their feelings and we make them bigger. And so it takes us longer to move on.
And the guy, and sometimes this is reversed, there's a role reversal. Sometimes you'll have a woman who is being more like characteristically what we would call the man and so forth regarding dealing with feelings. But men will wonder, well, why are you thinking that way? I mean, why are you going into it deeper? Let's move on. All we have to do is move on and we have a better life. But my conception of moving on is really the distance between where you are right now and how far you've buried your feelings. You've stayed the same, and you've created even a greater problem by burying them. That's the distance. You haven't moved anywhere. They have just been repressed to create a lot more problems later on, guys and some women. More guys than women, I would say.
Okay.
Okay.
So thanks, Caroline.
Yes.
Our next question is from Zoe. And Zoe asks, how can you regain sexual trust and intimacy in a relationship where that has been violated? And Zoe, this is something that is very common. Unfortunately, the statistics show that 60% of men and 40% of women over the lifetime of a marriage will have an affair. It's pretty astounding. So Bob and I see clients who are dealing with this all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, so many people will say, if my partner ever cheated on me, I would be out of there in a minute. But that is not what happens generally. Usually people are very hurt, but when you have a lot invested in a relationship, especially if you have kids, people come in and want to try to work on it.
Right. I wonder when an affair happens, what's going on in the relationship anyway. And it might be, this is not to excuse anybody, but there's something not right. People don't have affairs if you're getting everything that you want and need in a relationship. And a lot of times when people are not communicating, these kinds of things do happen. So the relationship at that point wasn't all that it could be. the affair is the wake-up call. You get to see finally what you can lose. And I think a lot of couples, and no one would want to plan this, find this out, sometimes tragically too late. But I think you go to another level, a much deeper level. Now, some people take that circumstance and rise up into a new kind of relationship and really work on it, knowing what they could have lost. Other couples, it's just too late.
Right. And in terms of rebuilding trust, Zoe, what it takes is, number one, time. Number two, it takes a lot of work on understanding what happened. And the most important thing is that the partner who has had the affair needs to have tremendous remorse for what they did and has to, in therapy, really dig deep with their partner to understand what happened and how much pain they have put their partner through. And if the partner who cheated really can go deep down with the person in pain and connect with them in that deep place, and then they come up together, that is how people can rebuild and regain the trust and really have a different kind of relationship. It's never quite the same, because once a relationship has lost the innocence of that trust, it cannot be the same. It may have a big scar or a crack in the foundation, but it can heal. And the scar will always be there. You never forget. But you do, over time and with work, let go.
Right, and we've seen that, and although a lot of people might not believe it, when people are working through it, when people really are right for each other, yeah, it's never the same, and you give up a lot. But we find that they find something else that seems to, in some way, fill that gap, and even take them to a deeper level. So some people make the relationship after such a tragic mistake.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you both, and we look forward to doing this again. And if you want more from Lori and Bob, go to our website, www.relationshipswork.com. We have a blog, we have a store and explore, and you can hear lots more from us. Okay?
Thanks, guys.
Take care.